Hello MidwestCapade fans, and welcome to MidwestCapades with Bobbie and Chris. I'm Bobbie.
I'm Chris.
And we're going to take you through our little adventures on road trips, casinos.
Road trips, casinos, sourcing for reselling, things like that. Rummage sales, of course.
Goodwill bins, pallets, who knows what adventures or escapades we can get into.
We might even see some interesting sightseeing stuff along the way as well. So strap in, get ready, click the thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, let you know when we're dropping our new videos, and we look forward to seeing you.
And if you like our videos in the future, maybe we'll start doing some live Q&A and auctions.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with our first MidwestCapade. And what better place to start than our own hometown, Crosse, Wisconsin. Hi there. We are starting today at the top of the city, an area known as Grandad Bluff. Why not start with the highest point in the area? We're going to have you look out over our city of 51,000 people and change. As you can see, it's quite green this time of year. It's actually very pretty, especially in the fall when you come up here. There are different points of interest you can see through our panoramic view. We've got the focus right now around the University of Wisconsin Crosse. This weekend they are hosting the Wisconsin State Track and Field competition. UWL is very well known across the country for their various sports programs. To the left of that, you will see just a tiny little bit of the Turbo University. There's other college, four-year college. We also have a two-year technical college. Then we also have two hospitals, Mayo Clinic, the Franciscan STEM Center. They are a partner with Mayo out of Rochester. I have heard of that. And then a little farther to the west, you will see Gunderson Lutheran. The other
behind a tree right now, but it's there.
The other large hospital center here in town. They've been around for about 125 years. So they're well established here in the community. Then, of course, out in the distance, you can see not one but two blue bridges. That does cross the Mississippi River. It's kind of one of the features of Crosse is the two bridges when they are silhouetted against each other. It looks actually really neat. Of course, the main geographical highlight of the area is the Mississippi River. This area carved out from the Ice Age many thousands of years ago. The interesting point about that, though, is when the glaciers receded from the Ice Age, it didn't really carve it very deep. And it had a lot of flat land. We actually refer to it as the drift because things didn't drift back into this area. And so basically it was just flattened out by the glaciers and then smoothed out when they receded.
The glaciers did go around this area though too. They went right around this area, so that's why it is also the driftless region, is because a lot of the glacier runoff came from through this area. And we will also try to get down to the point. It's a little busy with state track. Everybody wants to be up here.
It's a very popular tourist destination because you can see the entire city and into Minnesota as well.
Yep. All the bluffs on the other side of the Mississippi River, that is all Minnesota you're seeing across there. So we're not that far. Taking you a little bit more into the center. And you can see we do have wetlands or a marsh area. It is protected ground. National Wildlife Foundation.
Right below us we've got the Crosse Country Club. One of the few areas in the world where you actually will play 9 holes right in the middle of the train tracks.
And they just actually renovated that golf course because we did have some flooding a year or two ago that wiped out a few of the greens. So a lot of the greens had to be rebuilt.
I played it a few times. It's a nice little course. Had a nice, interesting par 3 with a deer as a target on the green. I didn't hit it.
We do also have 3 high schools in the city of La Crosse. We have La Crosse Logan, La Crosse Central, and Aquinas High School. You can probably hear the flapping. We do have a somewhat storm coming in. Nice flag.
One can't mention Grandad Bluff without mentioning New Year's Day, right at midnight. The local fireworks team, the La Crosse Skyrockers, puts on about a 20-25 minute show up here. And they modeled it after one of the Chinese New Year's shows. So it's quite awesome. They actually broadcast it live on television for those who can't see up here in the city.
One of their main features is they do a waterfall fireworks down the bluff. So there's a nice little waterfall going down the bluff. You'll have to excuse us. It is really windy up here. Like I said, if you can't see it, there's somewhat of a storm coming in. So we're going to try to get down before we get hit with the storm.
And of course, they've got little facts here about the city. Had its share of visitors throughout the years. A guy you might have heard of, a fellow by the name of Mark Twain, spent some time up here while he was working on the riverboats, moving up and down the and he had some very nice things to say about the city, so I'm glad to hear that. Because Mark Twain, he can be a little surly at times, but he had a very high opinion of the city. It's beautiful, the people are great.
This is a look up to Grandad's Bluff. This was actually a quarry, a rock quarry. So some of the houses down below were made with the stone off of Grandad's Bluff. And I believe it's named Grandad's Bluff because it looked like the face of an old man, if I recall. There's another better view of that golf course with the train stopped right in the middle of it. Explains a little bit of the driftless area. Like I said before, this explains the quarry up here. Shows you the quarry in the face of the bluff. Whew, the wind just died. It's going to be a doozy of a storm, folks. And then a nice statue of Miss Hickston. And Hickston Park happens to be right below the bluff too.
They own the land and they gave it to the city as an endowment to create Grandad Bluff Park. And this park was first incorporated in 1912. So over 100 years that we had the opportunity to come up and enjoy Grandad's Bluff without all the quarrying.
So, when you think of Wisconsin, what do you think of? Cheese and beer. Well, in La Crosse, we have our own brewery, the G. Heileman Brewery. And, well, it was the G. Heileman Brewery. It's now the City Brewery, or I believe, right? And when you think of beer, we have one thing here in La Crosse, and that everybody has to see, and that is the world's largest six-pack. Now here they brew all kinds of things. We get some lovely smells coming down here in the brewery area, and today it kind of smells like beer, just beer. Some days it smells like somebody tooted. Or apples. One of the things that the brewery does make here in La Crosse is Red's apple or red cider. I do know that they made Schmeared-Off, Mike's Hard Lemonade. They also do have La Crosse City Brew, so they brew some of their own stuff, and Not Your Father's Root Beer. There's many more that they could brew here, but a lot of it's kept quiet. So, as you can see, we're in front of the world's largest six-pack. When they first started, this used to say Old Style. Now they changed it to La Crosse's Brew or La Crosse Lager. And there are 6 tanks here. There's these 3 in front on the road, and then there's 3 right directly behind each one. And if you look, it does go across the street, and this is the whole brewery in itself. They do all the canning. I don't believe it's open for tours anymore. But you basically drive right through the middle of the brewery. It's kind of a cool little thing. We have King, what is King's name?
King Gambrinus.
Gambrinus.
2 statues of the king here in town. One right here outside the brewery, and then one located at 2nd and State. Excuse me, Front and State, in front of what used to be the G. Heileman offices.
As you can see, the brick over here too does say these are the aging cellars. We also have like the packing and shipping, I'm assuming, which is behind us. And they did add a little bit more on further down, but it goes this whole block. On the back side, they do bring trains in, so there is train tracks on the back side of this building, and this back side of this building is butted up right to the water. But this here was the Heileman House. It is now offices for the brewery. If you're interested too and want to move to La Crosse, there's job opportunities right here at the brewery.
Better look at more of the aging cellars in the rear.
At one point they did have tasting rooms, and they had like a reception hall, so you could have events down here. And they did do tours at one time, but they did close that off to the public when they were bought out by Pabst, I believe, Brewing, and now Pabst sources some of their products here for us to brew and produce.
Pabst does own the recipe for old style, but they don't, and they sell old style, but it would be kind of nice to have old style come back home.
Yeah, supposedly La Crosse is supposed to be somewhat like the old style, but I believe that people have said it doesn't taste the same.
It doesn't.
They used to make a beer called Cool too. I think it was K-U-L or
K, yeah, with an umlaut.
With an umlaut. I actually drank that more than I drank Lager City.
And that would be very similar to Special Export.
One thing about La Crosse is a party town. Being that we have 3 colleges, 3 universities. We're on 3rd Street right here, and they do have a pub crawl, and it starts way down by City Hall, and it ends all the way here, and you can see the sign for Kramer's Bar. There is a t-shirt at the bar, and it checks off which bars you crawl and hit all the way down 3rd Street. Last I knew there was 179 bars in La Crosse. Don't quote me on that because the city kind of put the kibosh on our liquor licenses on 3rd Street itself, just because they wanted to cut down on the liquor consumption and levels and serving here. One of our big events though is the Oktoberfest, which is coming up, will be in October, the first week of October, 4 days usually. And it starts right here at the brewery with the tapping, and they grab the golden keg out of the brewery and take it down to the fest grounds with a little parade, and they tap the golden keg at the brewery, or at the fest grounds. So we have the tapping of the golden keg, and then we have, that would be on a Friday, Friday. But Thursday starts with the torchlight parade. So we have 3 parades during Oktoberfest. 3 right in a row. The torchlight parade, Thursday. Friday, the tapping of the golden keg, which is supposed to kick off Oktoberfest. And then Saturday's our Maple Leaf Parade, which is like a 3-mile long parade. And you'll get to see that in October when we have it. And it starts way down on our north side of La Crosse and ends right down near here at the La Crosse Center.
Alright folks, that's going to wrap up part 1 of our tour around our lovely hometown of La Crosse, Wisconsin.
We hoped you enjoyed it, and we hope that some of our scenery makes you want to come and visit us here in La Crosse.
It's a lovely town. You would enjoy yourself quite a bit.
We're going to make a part 2 to this video and maybe take you around to some of our local eateries that are a must down here. Also Riverside Park.
So thank you very much for joining us on our first MidwestCapade. We invite you to subscribe to our channel. Click the notification button to let us know when videos drop. Give us a thumbs up. Yes. And share with your friends. Let them know all about our little YouTube corner of the world.
And we'd also like to thank Regular Guy Barbecue for putting us on this adventure in the YouTube world. If you don't know who he is, go pop on over and check out his channel. He's got some great food and shows you how to cook some great stuff. It tastes amazing.
Yeah, fat guys know. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. We look forward to seeing you on our next MidwestCapade.